I just got done watching the Super Mario Brothers movie. Is it any good? How many butter pumps will it get? Let's find out.
My baby likes
Hello, my beautiful butter babies. So let's talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie. After watching that final trailer a few weeks back, my anticipation levels for this movie were low. I thought this is going to be a kids movie, and because I'm not a gamer at all, a lot of it is going to go straight over my head. I'm going to be bored out of my mind and hate every minute of it. Sure enough, when I walked into the theater, it was full of kids. Loud, rambunctious kids just being kids kind of kids. I settled into my seat, and as the lights went down, I thought, is it too late to go see Air? I remember posting in my fresh out of the theater reaction that it was everything I expected it to be, but more than I anticipated it to be. Yes, it was a kids' movie. There were absolutely no sharp edges to this movie at all. Even Bowser's Spike have rounded edges all over them, so there's absolutely nothing in this film that's going to scare even the littlest of tykes in your brood. Safe for all the kiddos out there. It's firmly PG. It's also a gamer movie, so if you've ever played anything from Donkey Kong way back in the 80s all the way up to the Super Mario Kart games of today, there are more than a few things in this film especially written just for you. So, as I said, it was everything I expected it to be. But to my surprise, this movie sucked me in. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was so much more than what I anticipated it to be. By the way, from here on out, there might be some mild spoilers in this video, but honestly, the entire plot of this movie is played out in the trailers. Luigi and Mario accidentally get pulled into this alternate universe and get separated. Mario must find Luigi, who's being held captive by Bowser, and with the help of Princess Peach, Toad, and Donkey Kong, they do just that. That's literally the entire movie in a nutshell, and it's all in the two trailers we've all seen. So, kind of spoiler alert here, but not really. I was really shocked and surprised that The Wizard of Oz actually was used as such a strong reference for this movie. No, Brooklyn, where Mario and Luigi are from, isn't painted in a beautiful sepia tone. It's a kids' movie from start to finish, so from start to finish, everything is bright, shiny, and colorful, but there is a vibrancy to this alternate universe Mario and Luigi get sucked into that isn't in their home back in Brooklyn. Also, Mario's reaction upon reaching the Mushroom Kingdom is literally taken straight out of the Wizard of Oz's playbook when Dorothy opens her door to reveal Munchkinland. It's very much that playbook. And even when Luigi lands in the Badlands, even that takes its inspiration from the Witch's Castle and the woods surrounding it in The Wizard of Oz. But honestly, because The Wizard of Oz is my all-time favorite movie, that's probably part of the reason why it sucked me in. But the hook for this movie is ultimately family. That seems to be a running theme for a lot of movies these days. Family. Although not for nothing, Mario and Luigi's family is full of assholes. Mario and Luigi live with their parents in a multi-generational family home in Brooklyn. So you've got your parents, you've got your grandparents, you've got some uncles and aunts and cousins all living in this huge brownstone in Brooklyn. And every single one of the family members, save for Mario and Luigi, are exceptional assholes. They are unnecessarily cruel to both the brothers, and no one in the family ever defends them. But Mario and Luigi have each other's backs, and that's played out from the very beginning of the movie. It's very clear they both love each other deeply, and they'll do anything for each other. Real quick side note, now I don't know the answer to this because I'm not a gamer, but are Italians offended by the very clear Italian stereotypes in the games that these games lean into? Now, I understand that it's a Mario and all the rest of the very unfortunate Italian stereotypes are literally baked into the history of these games. But I wonder if there has been any backlash to it at all. Are Italians offended by it at all? I know not one person can speak for an entire race of people, trust me, I know. But if you're a gamer and are aware of the news surrounding games like Mario, what have you seen or heard? Not necessarily about the movie itself and the stereotypes it plays homage to from the games, but the games themselves. Has Nintendo made an effort in recent years to make Mario and Luigi less stereotypical, or is it just business as usual? Again, I'm not a gamer, but I'm curious to know. Let me know down below. So let's talk about the voice acting in this movie. Let me first off start by saying I think Chris Pratt gets a lot of undeserved criticism from people. People love to hate on Chris Pratt. As soon as it was announced he was cast as the voice of Mario, people started complaining. I call it the Michael Keaton syndrome. If you don't know what that is, basically, Michael Keaton caught a hell of a lot of shit for being cast as Batman in the first live-action Batman movie made since the Adam West era. Of course, when the movie came out, all that criticism went away, and now Michael Keaton's Batman is beloved. So much so, he's going to make his triumphant, albeit very temporary, return in this summer's The Flash. So this kind of shitting on people before seeing their movies has been a staple go-to for unhinged fanboys since at least 1989. And here we are again with Chris Pratt. Honestly, I thought his Mario was great. I didn't hear Chris Pratt, I heard Mario, and that's no small feat when you're basically carrying a movie on your shoulders. But if Chris Pratt carried the movie, Jack Black stole the show. Jack Black stole the show as Bowser. Jack Black is truly a national treasure that must be protected at all costs. He is a gem. He puts his all into everything he's in, and that comes through with this portrayal of Bowser. There's a Bowser musical break because with Jack, of course, there's a musical break. It wouldn't be a Jack Black movie without a musical break, and this one delivers. I challenge anyone to not laugh their asses off during Peaches. So brilliant, so delicious. The link to the official Peaches music video is down below. Please do yourself a favor sometime today and check that out. There's a missed opportunity in the video not to have Anna Taylor-Joy in the video, but here we are. Speaking of Anna Taylor, I really enjoyed her as Princess Peach. I love that they have moved Princess Peach from a damsel in distress kind of trope to a fully realized person on her own that isn't afraid to be a badass when necessary. There was a She Might Be Human storyline with Princess Peach that was completely dropped. It was started and then dropped in the same scene, but that's not Anna Taylor's fault. The rest of the voice actors were fine. Charlie Day as Luigi, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Fred Armisen as the Donkey King, or the Kong King. The only glaring exception to all of this was Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I'm really done with the stoner shtick from Seth, and I say that because I've seen Seth do other types of characters and do them well. So I know he is more than capable of doing other things. But this was Seth doing the Seth shtick, and honestly, I was kind of over it. If you heard Seth in 2009's Monsters vs. Aliens, you've heard Seth voice Donkey Kong. But I remain convinced, based on the other things Seth has done lately, Seth is capable of so much more. I've seen it in him, and I can't wait until he leaves that stoner shtick all completely behind. I really don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the video game aspect of the film because I'm not a gamer. It was clearly there, and most of it went completely over my head. There were video game Easter eggs aplenty in the film that I can't wait to watch new rock stars break down someday. But what I will say is, even though a lot of what happened was very video game specific, it was baked into the DNA of the movie in such a way that it never took me out of it. Even the Mario Kart section, which was clearly ripped right out of the video game, didn't take me out of the movie because why they were racing was important to the storyline. So again, if you are a gamer, you're going to love this movie. The movie soundtrack is an 80s extravaganza. From No Sleep Till Brooklyn to Take On Me and Holding Out for a Hero, it's a soundtrack to make every 80s baby like me very happy. It's a soundtrack that I might even get for myself because I enjoyed it so much. Especially No Sleep Till Brooklyn. Beastie Boys. Chef's Kiss classic. The only criticism I have of the movie, other than Seth Rogen, is the paper-thin plot. Now, truth be told, it was never going to be a plot-heavy kind of a movie, but the plot it did have was so paper-thin, they had to pad the movie out for it to even make its 90-minute runtime. Most of that came via recreating video game elements, and while it was exciting to watch, it did feel like this movie could have easily been wrapped up in an hour. And yes, the Peaches song and its reprise in the mid-credits scene is padding, but it's the only padding I will defend to the end because it's Jack Black being Jack Black delicious. And the end credits scene, by the way, is just a video game Easter egg that sets up the inevitable sequel, because this movie is doing gangbusters at the box office this weekend, so good for them. So how many butter pumps am I going to give this movie? I'm going to give it 4. 4 butter pumps, and the only reason why it doesn't get 5 is because of the paper-thin plot that needed padding to even make it to 90 minutes. Yes, the padding came in the form of what I can only call extended gameplay, but as a non-gamer, even though I enjoyed the action sequences, a lot of it I either missed or didn't understand as fully as I would have if I were a gamer. So, as a non-gamer, 4 butter pumps. Go see this movie. So now I'm going to turn it over to you, my beautiful butter babies. Have you seen the Super Mario Brothers movie? If so, what did you think? How many butter pumps would you give it? I want to hear it all about it in the comments down below. Thank you so very much for watching and for subscribing, my beautiful butter babies. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.